Sam, it could probably likely be a very big week for you. How's the emotions?
No, emotions are pretty good. Excited for the week ahead. Nice that the test is here at home in New Zealand. Opportunity for family to hopefully make the trip. But yeah, just I suppose at the start of the year, a little bit of uncertainty like around where my body was at and what the year ahead looked like with the changes from a coaching point of view and where they wanted to go. So like sort of just took the mindset at the start of the season that I'll do everything I can to get my body in good shape and give myself the best chance of playing well, and then from there, whatever happens, I'll just be happy and grateful for any opportunity. And at the start, whether that was going to be with Bay of Plenty, then I was going to do my best to enjoy my last season here in New Zealand. As it's turned out, managed to get a few test matches under the belt, which has just been super special and made me just, I've really appreciated every opportunity that I've had.
You've had a lot of adversity throughout your career. You had the net in South Africa and challenges throughout 2022, and then you mentioned this year as well. How's that shaped you as a player and a person?
Yeah, I think when I look back on it, like rugby's I think I've said before, I think it might have been after 19, like rugby's a pretty good teacher of life and resilience, like the ups and downs. You just have to pick yourself up and carry on. And it's, I think all those different challenges have tested my resilience at time, but I've been able to keep things in perspective and just really grateful for the opportunities rugby's given me on the field, but also like just the opportunity to grow up as a man from a 20-year-old making debut, not knowing much about anything, to now being 32 and constantly learning and evolving, and yeah, it's been awesome.
Do you relish each moment a bit more this year, given what's coming post this year?
Yeah, I think I do. I sort of touched on that before. Like I just come into this year once got my back right. But I was just going to have an attitude of enjoying every opportunity that came my way and try and make the most of it. And knowing that it'll be my last year playing rugby in New Zealand helps that, and sort of maybe takes a little bit of a load of pressure off, just having that mindset of trying to take every opportunity you can. So it's almost like starting the career again, just trying to take opportunities when they come. And I suppose that part about being an All Black never really changes.
So given how much you've played and started in recent years, have you had any second thoughts about leaving New Zealand rugby too soon?
No, I haven't had any second thoughts. Like there's a lot of conversations that went on leading up to the decision to sign 3 years with Suntory, and happy and content with where we've got to.
And what are your expectations for the end of year tour as well? Would you like to be involved in that? And is it a scary prospect to think if you aren't, this could be your last test?
I suppose part of that attitude I touched on earlier has been like I don't have any expectations, and I think part of being an All Black for a long time is it's a pretty risky territory to get into, to have expectations of the team and the jersey. Nothing's ever given or promised really. You've got to earn it. So I honestly haven't really thought about the end of year tour. Absolutely, like if I'm picked and they see value in having me there, then I'd love to continue representing the All Blacks throughout the rest of the year. But like I said, no expectations.
Does the same hold in future seasons? If it was possible for you to play, would you keep playing for the All Blacks?
Oh, well, it's not. So it's not possible at the moment. So I haven't thought about it. If the time comes, I'd consider it. But I'm sort of like young family now, 2 young boys, and like part of me is actually really looking forward to just spending a lot of time with them in Japan as well.
Just counting up the tests against the Wallabies, I think this is 25. I could be wrong. What's your favourite moment against the Wallabies?
Favourite moment against the Wallabies?
You don't lose much.
I'd say a pretty memorable one was might have been 2020, we drew in Wellington, and then we went up to Eden Park and it was an afternoon test. Like, I think one of the only times I played an afternoon test. It was packed out, and we had a really good win. And it was like my first year as skipper, obviously by drawing that first one, it put the Bleeders low on the line, the second one, and we just got an awesome team performance, so that one's up there.
Sam, you've been in the team when some players have had 100. What does it mean to join that group of McCord, Carter, Whitelock, Retail, etc.? Oh,
hard to put into words. I mean, it's you need a bit of luck along the way, I think, to get to 100. The first 50 sort of came reasonably quickly without too much trouble. This next 50, I've had to be patient. It's tested me a wee bit more, a few road bumps. But yeah, it'll be, I think, really nice to be able to look back on in time and crack that club.
You've mentioned the resilience that you've had to have. I mean, how tough has it been, Sam game in the All Blacks?
Oh, not that tough, to be honest, because like I've touched on, like always putting it in perspective. When there's times that challenge you, it's always just about how you frame it up in your mind. You get down and feel sorry for yourself, or you can look for some positives, put a plan in place, and start chipping away at getting back to where you want to be, or what you want to do. So it's obviously parts of it are hard, but not in context to what some people go through. And I've always tried to keep that in perspective. Always been really lucky to be surrounded by awesome people from a family point of view, but also this environment, just the people here help set you up to be the best you can be, and it's pretty infectious and awesome place to be when you're surrounded by so many like-minded individuals like that.
What role has family played? Because you've had some pretty serious injuries. I'm sure they've seen in some pretty bad states.
I suppose they've been amazing, really. They're pretty level-headed themselves, like they're never ones to get too carried away with the highs or too down with the lows, or if they have, they never show that to me. They're really constant, steady support and always have been, and really grateful for that.
Rusty spoke recently about visiting you in hospital. Could you share a little bit about that at the moment?
Yep, I think it was the day after I had surgery. Rassie, Francois Lowe, Jesse Creel, all on separate occasions, made the visit into the hospital. But truth is, I was in such a sort of dazed state from post-surgery that, unfortunately, I can't even remember drips and drabs of their conversation in their presence. But obviously, it speaks volumes of all three of those men to take time out of their day to come to hospital and find me, and something I'll never forget. Hugely appreciative of them.
Who will you have there this weekend, Sam? Close friends, family-wise?
Who will be there? Mum and Dad, both my sisters, wife obviously. Not sure if both kids will make the trip, so she can enjoy the night a little bit more. And two of my best mates from school, we've been playing rugby together since we were 5, and one of them's been playing rugby in France right up until this year. He's just hung up the boots, and the other one lives in Melbourne. So we've been living in different countries for a long time, but we keep in touch. So it'd be quite special for us three to get together. It's been a long time.
So you came through after Richie McCaw coincided a little bit, but what do you make of the pool of Openside flankers for the next generation that's coming through in New Zealand?
I haven't really thought about that. Obviously, probably in the moment in the All Blacks, there's never been the selection of the loose forwards. Everyone's really versatile, their skill sets. I think probably in New Zealand, a lot of all three loose forward skill sets are fairly transferable at the moment in terms of the athletes we've got, and Ethan Blackadder, Luke Jacobson, Dalton all play 7 at a really high level. But I'm not sure who's after that. But there's 3 pretty good players right there.
What was it like coming back to the All Blacks environment and not being captain? Did it free you up at all, or what was the main difference that you noticed? Probably just the mental load. Probably something
you underestimate or you don't understand until you go into the role. And to be fair, like, when I look back on those 4 years, it's fairly turbulent sort of 4 years for numerous different reasons. Like COVID the first year, dislocated my shoulder the second year, and only come back at the end, and then new coaching changes the following year. So like, it was only probably the last, 16 months that we had some real continuity. And that was leading up to World Cup. So yeah, like the mental load through that time is probably what the biggest thing I noticed, and then coming back in, not having that, and just being able to contribute where you can, and focus on being the best player you can be.
Sam, you mentioned Ethan, Dalton, Luke as well. Now that you're, played 99 tests, soon to be 100, is there any advice you potentially pass on to those guys as they move on to the next chapter of their careers too?
No, not too much. I've played a lot with those guys now, so I've sort of got like a good friendship. It's not really like I don't really see myself sitting above them with that much more knowledge by any means. Like they're really smart footballers, and we have a loosey catch up every week where we share what we've learnt during the week and how we can push each other to be better and stuff. So like, I suppose I'd like to think I'm a bit of an open book, and but also I'm not someone who's trying to force my opinions and thoughts down their throats. So I suppose we can just lean on each other. But yeah, of course, like if they wanted to know something, I'm really open and willing to share.
Sam, excuse me, you touched on Sky Stadium and Park before. Have you got any theories as to why? The obvious question, but why the All Blacks are unbeatable there and not here?
No, I wish I knew. It's quite bizarre, really. It's probably something we hadn't been highlighted until maybe you guys or someone had brought it up a couple of test matches ago, and then it's quite crazy that a couple of hours short trip up the road, and we haven't lost for 50 odd games. So yeah, look, as a group we've touched on it this week, and we're pretty excited about the opportunity to hopefully sort that out and put a really awesome performance out there that we can be proud of, but that also everyone that's bought a ticket to come out and support us can walk away feeling pretty proud of what we've done as well.
When you say you've touched on it, what have you discussed? Is it putting it out of your mind, or is it embracing it?
No, we just alluded to like it hasn't been good enough. We haven't repaid the fans down here that have come out to watch us. The Wellington region in itself, we haven't just fronted up and delivered for that region. So don't know the exact reasons why, but we'll be doing everything we can in terms of our preparation this week to make sure we can go out there and put on a full 80 performance.
With the Wallabies, your opposite last week, Fraser Wright, it's his first test back in quite a while, but he was running right a wee bit there, kicked a 50-22 from inside his own 22 as well. What was your impressions of him and how far he's come as a test footballer? Yeah,
he's been awesome. He's for a few years he was an awesome Super Rugby player, and probably the last couple of years he's just really established himself at test level. He's got a massive engine, gets around the field really well and competes. Obviously awesome at the breakdown. His support plays wicked as well, and he had a great game. So we'll have our hands full trying to minimise his impact on the game again.
They're 10th in the world at the moment now, but the game last week obviously pretty close. You think they're better than the rankings might suggest?
Yeah, I think we've seen that time and time again. In terms of the rankings, there's actually not a heck of a lot between top teams. I think World Rugby's at a pretty good place when you think about the quality of a lot of those top teams. So it's certainly not something that we read into world rankings. Yeah.
Have you got fond memories from your debut with the dramatic win over Ireland in the Christchurch?
Just before this, I had an interview with Sky actually, and they sat down and showed me some footage of my debut. Clips I hadn't actually obviously reviewed the game back in 2012, but the rest of those clips I haven't seen since that week. So it was nice to look back on that. I just remember going in at half time, expecting to go out and warm up for the second half, then go sit on the bench, and it was literally only maybe 2 minutes before the team ran back out. They just shouted at me and said, "Sam, you're going to be on. Rito's off. He's taking a head knock," and it happened that quickly. And I vividly remember Dan Carter kicking off and the whistle going and him kicking off and thinking, yeah, it's real now. I'm an All Black, yeah.